On to Open Line. Our guest tonight, Thomas Schwartz, Dr. Thomas Schwartz, Vanderbilt political science professor. He is joining us via Zoom, talking about President-elect Biden. And the question we're asking after the Electoral College vote, is it time for President Trump to concede? And we're getting calls from people who say yes and no, but a bunch of calls. So let's go back to the phones here. Let's go to John. Hello, John.
Yes, sir.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I think that President Trump, after this electoral college vote, I think he needs to go ahead and concede and quit all his rhetoric and everything, and so the country can go ahead and get on the right path and everything. And the other thing is this coronavirus. Kind of change the subject a little bit. The coronavirus, I hear a lot of people out here say that I don't know what's causing it, but they're saying that they think this stuff is a hoax. Right. And so a lot of them are scared to, when it comes time to take the shot, because for one thing, number one, they don't know enough about it, and number two, people are real confused about what's going on with it.
Right. Yeah, that's a whole nother show. You're absolutely right. And that's going to really dictate how President-elect Biden's first term goes. I mean, you look at this vaccine and how quickly it can get out and how efficiently it can get out. That's really going to be the determining factor in his first term or his term. What I think. But what do you think, Professor?
Oh, absolutely. No, and in some ways, that could be something that he is able to benefit from greatly if the efficiency of the delivery of the vaccine allows life to return to normal, say by the late spring or early summer. You're going to have, I think, a very different feeling and attitude within the country. And I think the more positive people feel about both the society, the fact that they can go back to doing normal things, and then the economy, that'll all redound to Biden's favor, even if in some ways Trump should be taking some credit for having done this. Unfortunately, his own style and his bitterness now and the way he's acting it may deny him some of the credit for getting Operation Warp Speed to full fruition. That's kind of one of the ironies here, is that his behavior here may diminish the degree to which people are willing to give him credit for what he's done.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've heard people say he should be taking a victory lap in a way over the vaccine, but he's so caught up in the other thing that is not what is perceived as happening right now. And so, yeah, that is interesting. All right, let's go to Ezra. Hello, Ezra.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing well. What's on your mind?
Well, the only thing wrong with this election is Trump's denial of the outcome. That's the problem. There wasn't any problem with how it was done, and they said it was the how do they explain it? What's the word? Help me. The most correct,
fraudulent, rigged election. Those are the words he uses.
But they said it was the least of that in the history of our voting. But the thing is that he influences his followers who just follow him unquestioningly. They don't question. And there was another fellow that spoke. Was it Bill? And I totally agree with Bill, Susie, and that gentleman afterwards who blessed everybody. Thank you. But I totally feel that once the administration turns over and the transition has happened, that the way Americans really are is that ultimately they will just go with the flow. I really believe that it will mellow out. People will start getting along, because there's an adage in my faith, which is that everything ripples out from the central figure. And so we also, a lot of things ripple out from that temperament that was our central figure. And now we'll have a very gentle, even-tempered fella, and that will ripple out. And you'll see. Mark my words, it will improve, and it's only a matter of weeks.
Well, Ezra, I'm happy to hear your optimistic assessment. Thank you, Ezra. Thank you for your call. What do you think about that, Professor?
Well, I think it's heartening to hear that. And I think that a lot of people really want that to be the case. They want things to calm down. They want to go back to normal life after the pandemic. They want the economy to be back. They want to be able to eat in restaurants, go to football games, all the things that have been denied us over the last 9 months. And so I think there'll be a great craving for that once the vaccine is widely distributed and people have been inoculated. So I do think there's a way in which, even if nothing else goes on politically, that I think the sheer restoration of normal life will have a great deal of impact.
I wonder, I mean, she's saying, well, because we're going to have this kind of this different person at the top, that now suddenly we're going to not be as divided. I question that, and I don't know. I feel like we're very divided, and there are people talking about succession and that kind of thing. How can we come together, do you think, in a way that, in some great way, or are we just at this period where we're going to be divided going forward now?
Well, I think the issue is the divisions. Divisions are a natural thing in democracies. That's why you have democracy. You have usually divisions, different interests, different groups, different political perspectives. I think what's bothered people is, of course, the intensity of the polarization. And I think what the caller might have been getting at is that intensity might decline. People may not care as much about politics for a while because the person at the top is not in their face every day through tweets and everything else. That Joe Biden is a more receding figure. He doesn't have to dominate the news. He doesn't have to be out there all the time. And that may lead to some calming effect. If people will be divided, there's strong differences within the society about political points of view. It's the intensity, I think, is the issue more than the divisions. Divisions are always there. It's more that I think people are disturbed by the degree or intensity that they've had over the last few years.
Interesting. Okay, good point. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back, take more calls. Be back right after this.